Hello everyone, I'm Rafa. A lot has happened since I started this madness. This is my fifth video and many things changed already. I actually wrote a script for this video over a month ago, and the video was supposed to be the second one I recorded and posted, but it didn't happen because I felt it wasn't complete. So I decided to leave it aside and work on other videos. To talk about emotion is complex, and this is why this video ended up stuck for 4 weeks. I'm here today to share my personal experience with my emotions. I've been through tough times for being a sensitive person, but that doesn't exclude the great things that happened to me because of that too. Some stories are worth sharing, and I'll tell you some of them later. As humans, we have to learn to deal with our emotions through time, while we experience life. As kids, we assume that adults know everything, like they know what they're doing, right? As we get older, we realize that that's totally wrong. We are all here in the world just trying to figure things out. We struggle to deal with our emotions, and emotion is exactly the link that makes us connect with one another. So it's essential we get better at it so we can bond and build good and lasting relationships. The other option would be not giving it attention and pushing it down so it will silent for a while, but it comes to the surface again and again and again until you properly look at it and give it the attention that it needs. I want to ask you something. Do you think you are a sensitive person? Are you an artist? Because if you are, I bet you are sensitive. And do you know how to get the best of that? Come with me and let's dive into this deep and perhaps turbulent subject, very wide and with so many layers too. I hope you can swim with me until the end of this conversation and get the answers that you're looking for. For context, having emotions is not a problem. It's just a characteristic of our species. But I know that it's definitely way more complicated than just acknowledging that. I also want to make clear right now in the beginning of the video that I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychologist. I'm here sharing my thoughts based on my life experiences as someone that learned how to cope and deal with my uncontrollable sea of emotions. With that being said, I'm here as someone that is also trying to figure things out. That's it. Always look for the help of a specialized professional when needed. Don't skip that. I did therapy for years, and I'm sure that a lot of my understanding on myself comes from that. It also comes from naturally learning from life experiences, self-analyzation, self-expression, tarot, meditation, and other spiritual practices. By saying self-expression, I mean any kind of bodily release activity you might do to make your waters flow. And I'm being serious. It could be sexual release too, but I'm referring to writing, drawing, dancing, singing, cooking, gardening, anything that sounds good to you and that you can do alone. Yes, a deep comprehension of ourselves demands time alone, period. If you have difficulties to spend time with yourself, you should start by inviting someone to do some of these activities with you, but having in mind that soon you will be doing that same activity by yourself. And then, after a while, practicing time alone, you will get to the point where you will enjoy your company. You will feel pleasure in spending time with yourself. But it's okay to gradually do things. It's actually recommended. This is interesting. Doing things gradually makes me think of water. Like water consistent flow through times end up shaping rocks and entire landscapes. The opposite of that would be raging waves in the ocean, eating up boats and anything else close to it. These are examples of water in its both polarities. the one that slowly constructs and the one that rapidly destroys. Emotions are a part of the water element, and this information is huge. There is water everywhere, around us, in the surface, in us, in plants and other animals, in the air, under the ground, in the clouds. It's vast, it's almost in everything. Water connects all of us with our surroundings. And what plays a huge influence in water? The moon. So, to honestly talk about emotions, we have to consider the moon phases and its aspects. Speaking of moon, I created a moon calendar to guide you and help you to keep organized this year. It's February 2025 and I'm recording this video. So if you're watching it in 2035, you may also want to check and see if I have a calendar for you. I might. To claim yours, go to my website, arcanarafaela.com or arcanarafaela.com and sign my newsletter. Once you sign, you will get an email with your Arcana Moon calendar right away. It's also through the newsletter that I share behind the scenes on my art process and the making of tarot cards, personalized and originals. You will also be updated weekly about what I'm working on. I'll leave the website link in the description of the video. I hope to see you there. So, water is fundamental to life, and so are our emotions. Let's think of fear. What is the purpose of this natural response? It serves for us to be cautious and not jump from a cliff just for fun, for example. So it prevents something tragic from happening. Rage, for instance, it makes something stop happening. An example, someone is treating you poorly. You will need a little bit of rage to be able to express the person that they should not treat you that way. It's not possible to control our emotions, but we can learn to manage it. But how? Analyzing when they happen and why they happened. So, what moment of period of the day you felt that specific emotion and what triggered it to happen? This is basically tracking and mapping your personal activities. It feels kind of weird at first if you're not used to journaling or writing on a diary, but after a while, this will be the best part of your day. Because self-discovery is amazing. There is nothing more exciting, in my opinion. Write down your dreams too. This one is a little trickier, but you have to take a notebook and a pencil or pen with you to bed and leave it close. So first thing in the morning, you write down the dreams you had. I say it's trickier because this is mapping or an attempt to keep track of our subconscious or unconsciousness. This is the part of the mind that is unknown to us, where we keep the hidden parts of our personality. Everything our consciousness rejects, they have to live somewhere, right? I mean, nothing gets lost or disappear in the mind. It integrates. It's still a part of us. But this bent part of us, our fears and shames and things, become our shadows. This is why we should not bury our emotions, because this is what they will become. And then, it still influence our life, but in a destructive way, because the unconsciousness, the unknown part of us, it's much bigger than what we know about ourselves. And this is exactly why I call ourselves Arcana, because we have secrets. We are mysteries, even to ourselves. And I think that's super interesting and exciting to search that. Our unconsciousness has its own language. Through codes, it communicates. And our mission is to decode it, translate it into words, and process it through our consciousness, which is rational. To access the subconscious material, we do have to take notes of dreams. And don't worry if you don't have many dreams or you don't dream often. After you take your notebook to bed, you will start having them or remembering them. But don't force it, or you might just suppress and push away your precious unconscious material even more. When I was younger, I used to draw myself in the bottom of the ocean, even draw myself as a lonely fish in the bottom of the ocean. And I used to do that as a form of expression of how I was feeling. I remember doing it and crying, looking at it after. I guess the crying was also part of the project, the 4D part, the tears are the water. And it was part of my expression at that moment. We can express ourselves in many ways. When I say draw, for example, I don't mean a planned drawing or an expected, well-executed piece of art. I mean get a pencil, put it in a piece of paper and start moving your hand. Dancing is the same idea. You're supposed to just move your body. Writing, just put down words, even if they don't connect or make sense in a phrase. Because remember, our unconscious speaks in codes. So, your scribble, your strange body moves, your disconnected words could be a way, a portal, an access to the depths of you. You do have to take notes of your impressions and thoughts after those activities. You have to write down the date and include the time sometimes. But the most important is the date, so you have to keep track on dates to create a timeline of some sort. And years from now, you'll have that documented as well. I've been practicing writing my dreams down for years, so I have a few notebooks full of coded material from those years. Of course, it's a practice that demands time and management, effort, and deep curiosity that knows that won't find clear answers, but fragments and symbols that have the potential to lead you to answers. Let's go back to my struggles in managing my emotions. I want to share two situations I lived, and they illustrate what being a sensitive person can look like. It was during high school. We had a class where we were supposed to watch movies chosen by our teacher and write essays about them. I don't want to say what movie it was to not change the focus here, but what happened was that I started crying at some point in the movie and had to be excused from class that day. I waited to the movie to finish in another room with someone from the school giving me support because I couldn't stop crying. You might be thinking that it was a very sad movie or something in the movie triggered me to react that way. And yes, it was a sad movie, and today I understand that it did trigger something at that moment. But this is also what it looks like to be sensitive. I wasn't able to express myself with words in private with the teacher. Instead, I communicated my feelings with intensity to a class full of people. Communication is an aspect of the element water. So it is an aspect of dealing healthy with our emotions. Water in its positive polarity is fluid. So should be our communication, fluid, not explosive. The other situation I want to share with you is when I couldn't speak and so I wrote or drew to communicate what I had to say. And this made me explore different types of communication and self-expression. This is also valid and it serves as a practice too. Considering the more we get to do something, the better we get at it. The element water is a beautiful home to live in. It's wide, it's deep, it's interesting, holds infinite secrets and new ideas. But it can be lonely and obscure if we don't balance it with other elements. And this is what I learned from my emotional journey. In a minute, I'm gonna read to you the meaning of the Mermaid's tarot card I created. We gain more than we lose when we understand that learning about our own emotions is the key to unlock the power of dealing with crisis and reaching out to creative flow of acceptance and surrender that you need to be able to swim to the surface. So you might as well let go of the numbness, which is a negative polarity of water. 10 years ago, I drew myself inside water as a fish. I made myself to be small, no one around, no action. I'm all contracted in the bottom, lots of water on top of me, long way to get to the surface. And there's the mermaid's card I drew recently. So the mermaid's big, she's in the middle of the page. She's actively using her communication to create a shore because she realizes the importance of also including other elements with water. And in this case, the earth element represents that little fish has gained the power to not just leave the deepest waters, but also to create its own shore, accessing it whenever it wants and diving deep whenever it wants. It's got options now, flexibility, which is another water characteristic when it's in its positive polarity. This is what I do. I create oracular art, tarot cards, and meanings that are deeply symbolic and tied to human lives and situations we go through in life. On my website, you will find personalized tarot cards and meanings I created for people that had the desire to bring to life something very important to them, such as a moment in their lives, a situation, a someone. What I call the Dream Tarot card, which is what I do, is a manifestation, a creation, a materialization of something that you love, an objective you want to accomplish, or something that already happened and you want it to reverberate and grow stronger. There are infinite possibilities for our desires, and what I do is bring them to life. I want to read the Mermaid's card, full meaning for you. But first, if you haven't signed my newsletter yet, I want to let you know that there is where I share the behind the scenes of my art process and creations. And in the blog is where you are going to find the final pieces of my original art, tarot cards, and its full meanings. So here we go to the Mermaid's card tarot full meaning. At the end, it gives you a practical advice. I'm just letting you know so you don't lose focus when I get to that part. I recommend you to check out the practical advice of the Dwarves and Gnomes tarot card as well. You can do that by accessing my website, which I'm leaving in the link in the description below. With the power of communication, this water creature opens a portal to the shore. She has come to understand that living silently beneath the waves no longer enriches her. After all, she now masters the art of diving deep whenever she chooses. She realizes that expression is a transformative tool, one that allows her to access the other elements. The Undines and Mermaids card reveals how easily one can drown in the waters of emotion and racing thoughts. But once you organize your inner world, map your thoughts, and cultivate constructive feelings over destructive ones, you unlock a tremendous source of power, the power of flow. Whatever comes, you decide if it stays. Place yourself in the mermaid's position, living within the water. What do you do with it? You use the current to your advantage, allowing it to flow through you, just as your thoughts and feelings should. Water carries everything away, the good and the bad. Hold on to what nurtures you and let it grow stronger. Practical advice: write down your thoughts daily, along with your wishes for the future. In a few days, revisit this and create a plan for yourself. Remember, changes may take time to happen, and that's okay. Understanding how you function and how to navigate your environment is true power. Self expression is the key to transformation. I hope this video helped you find some answers you were looking for, and I'd love to hear from you. Confirm to me in the comments that you are a water creature by sharing the cutest water emoji you find, or many if you can't pick just one. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, bye!